The story of Perseus. According to the myth, there was once a king named Perseus who ruled Argos. He had only one child, a daughter named Danae. She was beautiful above all the other women of the land. One day, the oracle of Apollo told Perseus that there would come a day when Danae's son would kill him, so he locked Danae in the bronze tower with no doors except for the roof open to the sky. Danae sat there through the long days until one day Zeus showed up as a shower of gold that fell from the sky, and from that Perseus was born. Perseus was furious when he found out about Perseus. The boy's life was a terrible danger to his own, so he locked Danae and baby Perseus in a large chest and cast them out to the sea. Somehow, they managed to arrive safely to the island of Cerberus. They were discovered by a good man, a fisherman named Dictys. He caught and pulled the chest into the shore, freeing Danae and her son. He and his wife took the two home and they lived there for many years. In the end, more trouble came. Polydictys, the ruler of the island, was the brother of Dictys, but he was cruel. He got attracted to Danae, who was terrifically beautiful. He wanted her, but he did not want her son, so he think of ways to get rid of him. One day, Polydictys announced that he was about to be married and he called his friends for a celebration, including Perseus. Each guest, as was customary, should bring gifts. When Perseus arrived, he had nothing he could give. He recalled his conversation with Polydictys that he wanted a head of a gorgon. So Perseus did exactly what Polydictys had hoped he would do. He would go off and kill Medusa and bring back her head as a gift. Perseus took the ship as soon as he left the hall and sailed to Greece to learn where the three monsters were found. He went to Delphi, but all the princess would say was to bid him seek the land where men eat not Demeter's golden grain, but only acorns. So he went to Dodona in the land of oak trees, where the Selli lived who made their bread from acorns. They told him, however, they did not know where the Gorgons lived. The gods must have known Perseus' despair. As Perseus wandered on, he met a strange man with a wand of gold with wings, wearing a winged hat too, and winged sandals. At sight of him, hope must have entered Perseus' heart, for he knew that he could be none other than Hermes, the guide of the giver of news. This radiant person told him that before he attacked Medusa, he must first be properly equipped and that what he needed was in the possession of the nymph of the north. So Hermes gave him a sword to attack Medusa, with which could not be bent or broken with the Gorgon scale no matter how hard they worked. But another great deity was at hand to help. Athena stood beside Perseus and took off the shield of polished bronze which covered her breast and held it out to him. She told Perseus, look into the shield when he attacked the Gorgon because it will serve as a mirror where he can avoid Medusa's deadly power. Now, Perseus had a good reason to hope. Hermes guided him so he could not go astray. They found the Grey Woman at last. Perseus did just as Hermes had said. He snatched the eye out of the hand of one of them. Perseus spoke that the eye would be theirs again if they showed him how to find the nymphs of the north. The Grey Woman gave him the full directions at once, and Perseus gave the eye back just as what he had told and went on the way they had pointed out to him. With the help of Hermes, Perseus was able to get through the country of the Hyperboreans. They reached the host of happy people who welcomed them to their feast, and the maidens get for him the gifts he sought. These were three: winged sandals, a magic wallet which would always become the right size for whatever was to be carried in it, and a cap which made the wearer invisible. With these, Athena's shield and Hermes' sword, Perseus was ready for the Gorgons and Hermes, and Perseus flew back across the ocean and over to the sea to the terrible Physter Island. By great fortune, the Gorgons were asleep when Perseus found them. Perseus found Medusa through looking at the shield With a single whip he cut through the Medusa's neck, and his eyes still fixed on the shield with never a glance at her. He swooped at low enough to seize the head. He dropped it into the wallet which closed around it and wore the cup of darkness before the two other Gorgons could slay him. On his way back he came to Ethiopia and found a lovely maiden had been given up to be devoured by a horrible sea serpent. Her name was Andromeda, and she was on a rocky ledge by the sea, chained there to wait for the coming of the monster punished by the gods because of the arrogance of her mother. Perseus saw her and on the instant loved her. He waited beside her until the great snake came from its prey. Then he cut the head off as he'd had the Gorgons. Perseus took Andromeda to her parents and asked for her hand, which they gladly gave him. With her, he sailed back to the island and his mother. But in the house where he had lived for so long, he found no one. Dictys' wife was long since dead, and the two others, Danae and Dictys, had to hide themselves from Polydictys, who was furious at Danae's refusal to marry him. Perseus learned that the king was holding a banquet in the palace, and all the men who favored him were gathered there. Perseus instantly saw his opportunity. He went straight to the palace, and as he stood, he drew the eyes of every man there, and before anyone looked away, he held up the Gorgon's head. And at the sight, the cruel king and the men were turned into snow. It was easy for Perseus to find Danae and Dictys after what happened. He made Dictys the king of the island, but he and his mother decided that they would go back with Andromeda to Greece and try to be reconciled with Acrisius. When they reached Argos, however, they found that Acrisius had been driven away from the city, and where he was no one could say. It happened that soon after their arrival, Perseus heard that the king of Larissa in the north was holding a great athletic contest, and he joined there to take part. In the discus throwing, when his turn came, he hurled the thing and it swerved and fell among the spectators. Acrisius was there and the discus struck him. The blow was fatal and he died at once. The oracle of Apollo was again proved true. With Acrisius' death, their troubles came to an end. Medusa's head was given to Athena, who bore it always upon the aegis, Zeus' shield, which he carried for him. Perseus and Andromeda had a son, Electrian, who was the grandfather of Hercules. Perseus and Andromeda lived happily ever after.